What up, though? What up, though? It's Jazz, aka X-Rated Plays, and it's my brother,
X-Rated Pennies. And we are the
Crypto Informants, and we here today with
introduce another informant.
My name's just Boogie.
Boogie. What? Boogie, Chi-Town Boogie. We still out here where it's cold in the city, so we bought our Boogie too in the city.
Yeah. Oh, Bitcoin Boogie.
Ethereum, Dogecoin, and all of it together.
Okay.
Okay.
So Boogie, speaking of running down the list of things, what type of cryptos do you own? Are you
Primarily just XRP right now. I don't own a lot, but I do okay. Mm-hmm. I have owned Doge, Ethereum. I played around with Bitcoin a little bit, but the way I look at Bitcoin, I got in a little bit too late when I understood what was going on. I remember Bitcoin when it was like a quarter.
Wow.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
Bitcoin was a quarter, Boogie? Must be not.
It was a quarter, and I kept seeing it all. I was trying to start my own little YouTube channel like in 2011-12 time frames, and I just didn't get the concept about it. The whole get rid of the central bank.
Just crypto and.
We didn't the crypto in general, the Federal Reserve and stuff like that. Then over the years, I played around with this, I played around with that. And then XRP came along, so I kind of just stuck with it.
Okay, yeah. So you were around with Bitcoin when it was like more of the peer-to-peer lending, like that's more what they were.
Yeah, they was peer-to-peer, but I guess whoever the Yamamoto guy, something like that,
Satoshi.
Oh, that's not his last name.
No, it's both.
It's one big.
Yeah, I just know it's Yamamoto. So some guy from Japan who created this type of stuff, this whole new way of financing and spending money, because money changes over time. In the Bronze Age, where we had bronze coins or something like that, after a while, years later, credit cards, after a while, fiat money, paper money, and then now we're into a new ball game of digital currency, i.e. we live in the digital world, so it only makes sense for currency to change.
So that's good. So you feel like we're just almost going into a new era, almost moving from out of the industrial dollar coin era, going into cashless society.
Funny you say that, because the Industrial Revolution was about 200 years ago, like 150 years ago, something like that. And it takes a minute to move. That wasn't yesterday. So by the time the Industrial Revolution came along, we started having different ways of making money, coins and stuff like that. But now it's just all digitized. It's all digitized, regardless of what it is.
Okay. So good.
What was one of the first platforms that you started trading on?
I want to
I guess go ahead.
I want to say Coinbase. I think it was Coinbase. It might have been something else, but Coinbase was the first one that I remember. I won't say I traded on this platform, but when I was into Forex. Forex, regardless of what that platform name is, I can't think of it. Forex is also kind of dabbling into that a little bit. That might have been the official form, but the first that I know its name is Forex. Nowadays, personally, I'm not telling anybody to use this because I know for a fact they do a lot of other stuff. I use Robinhood because it's extremely simple. It's extremely simple, although you don't own your property, but that's another stuff. That's another story for another day or for a little later in the video. So,
well, you a lot more. You came off as if you didn't know anything, but as the more you talk, you're not not really a novice.
I know how to read. So
that's one thing I like to see. So basic comprehension at least is enough to get you started. It's not something to where you have to have no college degree, no Ivy League situation.
You need. I ain't gonna say you got to be a dumb. Anybody that can count a dollar can kind of give an understanding of what. What's going on here, but yeah, sometimes the back end stuff, the stuff you can see behind the scenes, like XRP with the SEC and all that type of stuff. I know what that is, but I don't knock a dude for not knowing, what the
average Joe.
They've never even heard of it. It's at the SEC in the sports world is the Southeastern Conference. They don't know it stands for the Securities Exchange Commission, which is can send you out to jail or can make or break you, whether you on a public market or not. So
and that goes back to somebody just asked me. They said, "Hey, when they saw the XRP is not a security," they was like, "Well, what's a security?" I'm like, "That's insane how little we even know about our currency, our like you said, how about what are securities when you're talking about stocks and things about that, and IPOs, when a lot of people are like, hey, why couldn't I get into Ring when it started? Because you not a
you didn't know when the IPO was dropping.
You didn't know when the IPO
was it private or public.
And even if it was private, you didn't have the authority to get it because you have to be an accredited investor. So you have over $250,000 in assets before they'll even allow you to buy
$250,000.
That's going through the private sector, right?
That's going through the private sector.
Well, in order to do it, you either have a Series 571 to be accredited, or you have $1 million in assets, or if you're single, $250,000. If you're married, $300,000. Jazz and I are going to be getting married here shortly, so we can get this here done real fast.
Hey, we doing like all the other races. It's all about.
Well, this is what I understand. So, and I could be wrong here. All right, so I look at XRP as kind of like a version of MoneyGram Investor Union, but it's just extremely faster and cheaper. So if those two things in the market go away a little bit, XRP will be fine. As far as what the price could go up to, I'm not a speculator. I'm not a speculator.
Another one. Look, we're gonna have it not speculating. This is just your opinion. You don't have to like you. If
we get up,
come on, I thought Chi-Town y'all wasn't scared.
No, we're not scared. We're not speculating.
No, I'm just not speculating because then I'm lying. I'm not. If I was a speculator, then I could tell you that, but.
Winning.
XRP is winning.
Yes. Crypto's winning.
That one. Yeah.
Yes, crypto's winning.
I was like, this hasn't moved.
So what was your question again?
Yeah. Okay. So you don't want to speculate, but
I just want to see if you get the $10.
$10 is your.
It's my short-term goal.
Okay.
I think everybody's goal is Bitcoin goal.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the goal, but again, I don't know enough. But I know enough, if that makes sense. I know enough to a point where, like, okay, I think $10 is reasonable. $5 is easily doable. Like, depends on especially when you got in. So, a lot of people got in at what, 2 and 3 cents, 12 cents,
20, 50.
Yeah, and then right now it's going. Unfortunately, with the market going, it's going down right now. But the whole concept of buy the drop, buy the dip.
That's right.
Buy low.
Sell high.
And sell high. And that's just kind of how stocks and bonds and options and beast post tranches work, stuff like that work. So you buy low, but if they get to 10, I think everybody got a good day, especially if you're constantly buying it right now. What is it? 205 or something like
205. We're kind of going between 219 down to 205, 203.
No, actually today it got under $2.
I thought I saw that.
Yeah, you saw it.
I thought it was like 197 or something like that.
It bounced back up though, but that was a real. I don't like seeing that.
No, but a lot of people had their orders in around $2. So,
but then you buy the dip. You buy the dip.
Let's take a look.
Because you don't want to be. Nobody wants to miss out on the next Bitcoin again.
For sure.
Right. I think everybody, once we found out what that was, it was like, whoa, how did I miss out on this again? I didn't miss out on it. I just didn't know what it was.
Actually, I saw this female who actually first introduced me to crypto. She was using crypto early for her modeling thing, and in order for her to post up and model, she had to use cryptocurrency. And so she used to tell me, "Hey, take me over to this."
When was this?
This is maybe 2012, 11, and she used to tell me, take me to the currency exchange, and she would take the fiat, she'd take the money, the cash, and then give it to her. And then
it's funny you bring that up because in 2011, 10 times, I was living in Denver. And that's when I first heard of Bitcoin. He had a vague idea what he was talking about. Again, I just couldn't put 2 and 2 together with Bitcoin at the time. I didn't get this. But what do you mean, this digital currency?
Or decentralized, or almost.
I didn't know what that was.
We understand now that we, as people, never even understood how money moved. That show you how little we know as a people, just how money actually worked. That's all that meant. Because I didn't understand why would we need peer-to-peer. You know what I'm saying? And it is money.
And I know what peer-to-peer is. What's so funny, I still don't even know what peer-to-peer is.
Oh, it is. It's just that me and you, if you need something, we don't have to go through an intermediary.
It allowed
a middle party.
Middle party. Yeah. There we go. I'm trying to use these big words. We ain't got to go to no middleman between our money and our transaction.
And the centralized mean that we would have to have almost like a proprietary relationship. That's what makes, in order for what Cash App, in order for us to work on that centralized peer-to-peer,
You have to have Cash App, and I have to have Cash App, or if it was PayPal or Venmo or anything.
Those are centralized. Now, for it to be decentralized, that's what we're working on right now, the plumbing and there to allow it to move free.
So everybody, so Bank of America could move to Chase. Chase could move
Correct.
to...
Exactly.
But that's the next step. If you think about...
That's what we're doing.
That's the next step in finance.
Of this crypto, that's the utility crypto, that's the whole purpose. So to remove frictionless. As you were speaking on earlier about the MoneyGram thing, the MoneyGram and the things about the gram or those wires can only go so far.
And everybody, they charge always use
Yes.
Everybody got this. What is it? $10 and $100. I'm just going.
That's right. It's
Everybody wants their 3 cents out of that pot, regardless what the percentage is.
And what's crazy is we talking about on the low end. Let's talk about real money. Imagine you being in Mexico, like, hey, bro, I need $1,000 for whatever reason. Like, how much they gonna take out of the pot every time you have to move, and it's so
and thousands
expensive.
and millions of people got they. It's like, I used to use MoneyGram in West Indian a lot back in the day. My military days. And so, yeah, everybody, it was always like $15, $10 to send money. Receive, I think it was free. But so if I needed $100, something like that, like I said, it was $10, $15. Lord knows who got their hand in that pot. You know, everybody got the government got their hand in it. Western Union itself or MoneyGram itself, because they need to make their look $2,
and
right?
the clearinghouse as well, because you got to think
The
MoneyGram is just the
clearinghouses,
company. They still
yeah.
have to go through another party to clear the transaction.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of, so yeah, finance can get definitely complicated sometimes. And also, I have no idea, like,
Right.
the 9/10 of a penny on the gasoline you buy.
who gets that?
Yeah.
And then when you're talking about now, and what I love about cryptocurrency is brought back to the value of, we have lost the thought about, we talking about where our dollar's going, where our penny's going.
Sometimes pennies become real money.
Oh no, every time, every day.
So I buy
And twice on Sunday.
I buy my crypto sub penny.
What you mean?
That anything below a penny, like right
That's
now,
what I
Tailcoin
like
is
on it.
0.004. So that means if we cut a penny,
Yeah, matter of fact,
we can
it's-
cut a penny in 4 pieces and still.
Right.
And you got a billion of these things coming through a day, like especially with gas. Everybody getting gas all day.
All day.
So that's somebody that's making $5 million a day.
No, money's moving every day, all day. That's what's going on.
Yeah, it's half of a penny. 004
And what's that?
Tailcoin.
Tailcoin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
004. So it's under a penny.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tailcoin is.
Oh, Tailcoin's so nice.
Board.
It's up there on the board. You playing Scrabble. You gotta play Scrabble.
So y'all don't count in Chicago. I'm like, why am I looking at Chicago and XRP, Roar? What you calling up there?
Foot. We got the whole thing. Excel. And when you was talking about MoneyGram, ironically, I'm surprised you don't use Stellar at all because they're partnered with MoneyGram.
I know what they are. I know what they
so
are, but I know what they are. I mean, since Cash App and Zelle came out, I've had no reason to use MoneyGram.
yeah.
Ironically, so like I don't even know who this even runs through wire transfers. So my myself that's close on the house, so I still have to send an old school wire transfer.
Yeah, that's what
Which
we're
is
trying
ridiculous.
to do.
It's a company called Stronghold who's
Yeah.
actually in the process. That's what their chain is specifically focusing on. So that it's in and all these wire transfers and all this holding and escrow, because at some point it's like,
That's funny. You bring up escrow. That's another thing I had to deal with during the closing process.
All that's going to
Anybody that don't bought a home kind of understand all this. So like, get an example. Like I said, I got Zelle, I got Cash, but I even got PayPal. I don't use it at all, but I can still go into that. Why did I need to send this wire transfer and pay $20? Nothing to go crazy about.
yeah.
But for somebody, that $20 might be something. Who's getting this $20?
Or put it like this, even
I
if
want to
it's,
just give you cash
and be done with you.
Yeah, or Zelle or PayPal.
That's
So
what
we can't do that.
Polygon is that
that's a Polygon and a Stronghold.
Yeah, those are that's what they're to cut out all those middlemen that's in there touching the money.
Like I say, look, $20. Bank of America got some of it. My bank got some of it. Everybody got $1.
It's gonna the smart contract. What they're gonna do with the real estate, or I'm just speculating. This is what I hear. They're gonna do with the real estate is they're gonna put it on a blockchain, and then they're gonna have it with a smart contract. The smart contract you're gonna get is gonna be coded with a certain instruction. When all those things meet those criteria, then the exchange is made. So the thing, like you said, the escrow, the all the other people that's touching and pulling money, all that stuff would be made in the smart contract.
Okay.
So then there's no need for that person any longer.
Okay. All right.
So they won't be touching it, and it'll all be one price. And then they're going to also with the real estate, they're also going to go or do fractional
shares.
No, fractional ownership.
Fractional titles.
Of what? Wait, back to of what?
Anything.
So this building we're in right now.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So let's put it like this. So let's say this building has 56 floors. Let's assume it's 10. Let's say it's 560 rooms, right? So if we were raising capital, like, hey, we want to go buy it. They say like, okay, cool. Instead of me trying to raise $10 billion, I can say, hey, if you want to buy a room or you want to buy a floor, you guys can all come in for $1,000, and you own that fractional share. Now, instead of me having to say I own it, I can have a QR code that says, "Hey, here go my ownership. I can come in. I own my house, or I own my room here, or my floor here."
Or not so much. You own partially of it, so
you own the part that you pay for.
Yeah, but you receive the recidivism from
almost like that. I might call it simple, but almost like timeshares. But that's a different ball game.
Yeah,
because timeshares is just a time you share it for. Yeah. This would be ownership. So I get the concept.
And the whole thing is just fractionalized ownership. So it's just allow us to come together and pool our money, and you have your rights and your own, and you can sell it freely though. Mm-hmm. Like you can put it back in open market,
and then that's all can be paid through XRP or through all coins and what.
Or whatever chain that it's on.
And when we're saying the ownership, just because if I would have to take actual if we're doing fractional. So if I only own a small percentage, that don't mean I own that, but I own that digital representation of that property, not saying I physically own that. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you would, whenever the bills are, when people are paying their rent or their mortgage or whatever, you will receive the residuals off that from your partnership in that.
Yeah.
That's the right talking about real world assets. Anything you could. That's what Brad always talk about, the internet of value. That's why anything that you can find value in, they're trying to digitize, and that's why we're trying to create real world assets.
That's the NFTs. I didn't get those to save my life.
I really didn't dig.
And
they went away just as fast as they started.
You know what? They still there. It's just that the craze behind people getting off on making cartoons saying like, hey, this could one day be worth millions of dollars is kind of like falling off. But the logic of having an NFT, put it like this, if you were a music artist, instead of you trying to sell all these albums and it has to go through Spotify and all that, you just went straight to consumer. Like, hey, if you buy this NFT, you can download the project now and this money comes straight to me. We just talk about we trying to kill all these middlemen. Now you don't have to pay Spotify, the record label or whoever all these people are in between. Is kind of like a direct to consumer situation. Okay. Like when we keep talking about the peer-to-peer, that's literally it. You can go straight to your
traditional does it. They're still trying to find a way to get in there, and so that was Spotify. And there was a way for them to still get them the traditional way to get their way up in there instead of eliminating it totally. And that's what they're doing with the banking.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I don't see it a world where the old banking industry is gonna let everybody walk away and own and make all they own and own all they own everything.
And a lot of people don't even want to do that.
I can understand why.
Yeah. They don't care. they don't care. Like they really don't.
It's just that then as bad as banking can be, these also sometimes are professionals. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you got completely rid of banking, it'd be a free for all. Mm-hmm. There's no regulating of the finances and stuff like that. So we know how bad that can get. We see what happens every time deregulation happens. So let's just
go. What up, though? I'm Jazz.
I got I'm sorry.
What up, though? I'm Jazz, the expert player, and a lot of y'all want to know what kind of investor I am. So in cryptocurrency, we got a lot of different type of investor. I'm a hodler, and that means I hold on for dear life until this money come in exactly how I want it to. I buy low and I sell high. I don't really get emotionally involved into what the market is doing or what it's not doing. I just stay focused, and I'm focused on my bag. Now we got day traders out here. You got newbies, which just came into the game, and then you got some people who just panic every time something go wrong. But the market is supposed to go up and down. So what you bitching for? Bye. Be like me. Don't cry.